The fact is that you want to do two things. You want to remove things that impact the brain negatively. And then you also want to add in things that are going to, of course, support the brain. So I do think one of those that we're seeing a lot of that, we both brought up here is technology. And I do think digital detox are so necessary. I found it when I'm looking at the phone a lot and getting the pings and it's not on airplane mode, I feel it going faster, my brain downwards towards that lack of energy, towards that almost fatigue of everything. And it's too many inputs. But to someone that is on the job, let's say, to someone that is always looking at the screen and everything, and looking to not just improve the brain, but looking at it from that aging to have the longevity of the brain. Is there anything that you saw in the research and other articles you wrote? I was actually going to point maybe something even like a spermidine, not even natavine, but you wrote an article on spermidine. Are there things like that they can incorporate, knowing you're probably going to be 9 hours at your job and looking at a screen? You can't get around that.
Totally. And that article was actually really interesting because I actually knew nothing about spermidine. So I really went deep on that one. And it was cool because it's something that can be found in all plants and animals, and including us. But as we start to age, and I think starting at like 25, those natural levels start to decline.
Yeah.
And what was being seen in research is that a deficiency in it was actually being linked to expedited aging of the cells and age-related conditions. And that spermidine was really important for cellular processes like DNA stability and cellular growth. But then the gold star on it was its ability to promote autophagy, which I knew very little about this. I kind of remembered this from biology class, but then had to reteach myself that this process, which is incredible, is it allows our cells to adapt to stress and to mobilize their energetic reserves and to remove toxic proteins from the cells. And that there is this correlation between an autophagic flux and improved health and potentially longevity. And kind of linking to that, I wrote once about fasting, and that was one of the other benefits of adopting a fasting process is the potential to induce autophagy through fasting. And so replenishing those natural levels, to support your immune system and cell detoxifying and regeneration. And, I think all those things promote a potentially longer life where you age gracefully, right, is the hope. And so I think something like that falls under that category of nutrition, because as those levels decline, you can replenish them through your diet. And there's lots of really great food that's actually rich in spermidine, and some of my favorites, including broccoli and green peas. And I think and whole grains was another one that was really rich. And then I know when I was writing that one that I believe that the New York Center for Innovative Medicine was carrying the Spermidine Life. Is that the supplement? Yeah. And so, that's another approach as well of, if you're not getting it all from your diet, or even just to kind of supplement that. And that's the cool thing about, researching more about brain health of these little things. So of course that would help, I think, with brain restoration and strength, because it goes back to supporting your cell's abilities and your body's ability to do what it was designed to do, right? Function for the length of whatever our life is supposed to be. And because, like you were talking about as well, there's so many things working against us, it's really important to then try to figure out things to do to just counteract that and support what we're meant to do.
Right. And I think you brought it up there, the cell. It's so important to have proper cellular function and look at cell health. They are the building blocks of us, right? We're just trillions of cells that are producing trillions of different chemical reactions that keep us alive every second and make us do what we do. And our brain is really, really important for that. It's our CPU, it's everything. So if you could look at how you could impact the cell in a simple way, whether it is the spermidine, whether it is NAD. I mean, honestly, when I just did that NAD infusion, you felt it. You felt like you
I'd
had
love
this
to
kind
do
of
that.
this energy, but not at all like caffeine. It wasn't
Right.
this spike and like jittery or anything like that. It just felt kind of like you're having a really good day of like just energy's going, things are working well. Just you
Yeah.
have no need for any caffeine or anything. There aren't like slumps and everything. I feel like that's how we should normally feel at any age, basically. And of course,
Totally.
understanding as we age, that's a part of life. And yes, we will be impacted by that. But our brain should really operate just like a CPU should without any problems. You know, it continues to do. We're on our computers right now. Mine's an old computer. I took care of it in a way. I got, clean it out. I don't do much, right? And then I see people, and I have this at work where they come to me and they're just like, hey, this new computer is really slow. I'm like, what are you doing to it? Like, how are you keeping that healthy? Because that should be much better than mine, but it's not. The brain is a CPU in that way. And we have to recognize that and contribute to its health with these little things, which is diet, which is exercise, of course. Like all of these things, when you look at brain health, to me, it's just health. And then you look at the importance of the brain and all it does, and that kind of changes the complexity, but not the situation. You still need to you look at it as, what am I doing to fuel the overall health of this? And in many ways, it is simple, it is better, right? It is get in nature, meditation, breathing, eat right, move, all of that.